You know, most of the time, your car's just sitting there, doing nothing. But what if all that time it's parked, it wasn't just wasted? What if your electric vehicle had this secret superpower that could, power your entire house, help stabilize the electric grid, and even put money right back in your pocket? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
So, here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to unlock that superpower. We'll kick things off with the big idea. Then we'll define the tech that makes it all happen. After that, we'll look at how it actually works and tackle that huge question, the one, about your car's battery. Then we'll see who's making this a reality today, and finally, what the future's got in store.
Okay, so think about it. An electric vehicle is basically a huge battery on wheels, and for something like 95% of its life, it's just parked. This new technology flips that on its head. It turns all that idle time into a financial asset. It transforms your car from just something that gets you from A to B into a really active part of your home's energy system.
And let's be super clear here. We're not talking about some tiny discount on your charging bill. No, we're talking about your car actively earning you money or saving you a serious amount on your energy bills. And all of this happens while it's just sitting in your driveway. This isn't science fiction, folks. It's the core promise of technology that is rolling out as we speak.
So, the magic behind all this? It's called Vehicle to Everything, or V2X for short, and it just completely changes the relationship between your car and the grid. Instead of your car being a one-way street, just pulling power in, it becomes a two-way street. It can send power back out. It's a total game changer. At the heart of it all is a concept called bidirectional charging, and honestly, it's exactly what it sounds like. Energy can flow in two directions. Your car's battery can take a charge, of course, but it can also discharge that power to be used for other things. This single capability is the key that unlocks this entire world of V2X. Now, V2X kind of breaks down into two main flavors: vehicle to home, or V2H, and vehicle to grid, V2G. So think of V2H as turning your car into your own personal backup generator for your house. It's perfect for power outages. VTG, well, that's the next level. That's about selling that power back to the entire grid, helping the utility company balance everything out, and potentially earning you some cash in the process.
So how do you actually do this? How do you turn your car into a mobile power station? It might sound really complicated, but the gear you need is getting more and more common. It really just boils down to three key things.
All right, here's your starter kit. First, you need a car that can actually do this, one that's built for bidirectional charging. Second, you need a special bidirectional charger. That's the physical box on the wall that manages the two-way flow. And third, you need some smart software. Usually it's just an app that lets you control the whole thing. It lets you decide when to suck up cheap power and when to send it back to your house or the grid.
Okay, this is the big one. The elephant in the room. We all know EV batteries are crazy expensive, right? So the immediate fear is, hey, if I'm using my car battery like this, am I going to destroy it? Is it going to wear out faster? It's a totally fair question. But the answer is probably going to surprise you.
Don't just take my word for it. Listen to this quote from Asim Kapoor, who's the Chief Revenue Officer at GM Energy. He said that after all their testing, they've found that battery degradation is, and I quote, a complete non-issue. That is a huge statement coming from one of the biggest players in the game.
And here's why. Think about what really stresses an EV battery. It's the intense stuff, flooring it off the line, constantly using those ultra-fast DC chargers. That's like a full-on sprint for your battery. But by contrast, the slow, controlled discharging you do for V2H, that's more like a gentle walk. It's incredibly easy on the system. In fact, some studies are even suggesting that this kind of light use might actually be good for the battery's long-term health.
The cool thing is, this isn't just some theory being tested in a lab somewhere. Real companies are rolling out programs with actual customers who are seeing real benefits. We're talking both in peace of mind during outages and actual money in their pockets.
Let's look at a real-world example. There was a vehicle-to-grid trial in Australia, right? One household used their EV to sell power back to the grid when demand was super high. And get this, they earned $300 in a single night. That just shows you the incredible financial potential when all the stars align.
And the automakers? Oh, they are all in. Ford's F-150 Lightning? That's a key feature right out of the box. Nissan has been a pioneer in this stuff for years. Volkswagen is making its ID models ready with just a software update. And GM, they've committed to making all of their new EVs bidirectional capable by 2026. This is quickly becoming a standard feature, not some weird optional extra.
So what's this all going to look like as it rolls out?
I mean, the idea of helping power the entire grid is really exciting, but the revolution is probably going to start a whole lot closer to home.
And here's the key reason why. Vehicle to home is just so much simpler to pull off than vehicle to grid. Because V2H happens entirely within your own property, what the pros call behind the meter, it dodges all the complex regulations and red tape you need to deal with to send power back into the public grid. That simplicity is exactly why powering your home with your car is going to be common, way before selling power back to the utility company is.
So this all brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. As this tech becomes standard, picking out a new car won't just be about how it drives. It's going to become a huge part of how you manage your home's energy, how you keep the lights on. So really, the question isn't just if this is going to happen, but how are you going to make it work for you?